Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Self Care Sunday. I'm Elisa Maria. Welcome to Elisa Maria Designs if you're new, and welcome back if you are back. I'm going to give you a quick peek of what I'm going to be working on while I sit here quietly in diamond paint, and I'll do a voiceover for Self Care Sunday. But I just wanted to pop in and wish you all, everyone, a happy Mother's Day. This is the update, and I will tell you that I have already run out of a few of the colors. I'm really working diligently to get this done because I would like to, by Monday morning, um, start on the woman in gold. Relax. Get your whip out, or you can listen to this like a podcast if you just tune in for the message that I do every Sunday with Self Care Sunday, or get your own whip out and join me. Might be difficult today if it's Mother's Day and you're you're busy with your plans, and I know Mother's Day is not easy for a lot of people. So if I can be company for you today, that makes me feel really good. Okay, I'm gonna get to it. See you in a bit. Bye. So, hello again. I was hoping to do a live broadcast on what would be last night, which is now. Does that make sense? I'm actually recording this yesterday evening, Saturday, at around 7 p.m. My hubby is out with one of his longtime best friends at a concert, and I thought, well, I'll just go live. I have tried to go live twice, and it's been a disaster. But I was looking forward to going live and spending time with you guys. And this painting, The Kiss by Gustav Klimt, if you're new. I feel as though I am coming into the home stretch. I started this painting 3 weeks ago. I have to tell you guys, every time I think that I am coming close to seeing the finish line of this painting, it takes a turn. I don't even know how it's doing it. I don't know what's going on half the time. I was at my desk most of the day today because John was also at work today. And I just wanted to have a relaxing Mother's Day weekend. And that was being at my desk, diamond painting, writing down any ideas that are popping into my head as they do when I'm diamond painting. My eye on the ball, like just coming into this home stretch. I want to get this done, not to rush it, but because I am looking forward to starting Adele, Woman in Gold. And as I was saying in my video that maybe dropped earlier Saturday, or maybe I cut it out, I was thinking about, am I going to do Adele from Diamond Painting Shop, Woman in Gold? I have a small one this size, which is a square. Or do I want to break into that massive diamond dots round drill with like 8 or 9 special drills? And if I do that, I can go right into summer with the masters, because I really, really, really want to do a round drill. But what I was forgetting was Night's Rest is a round drill. I hope it is. I think I'm remembering correctly that it's a round drill. And then that kind of is going to appease me for a little while for the next 2 weeks, because Summer with the Masters is starting June 1st. And so I thought, well, I have Summer with the Masters. I have Night's Rest by Alphonse Mucha. And I can actually even turn that into another master class. So I think what I'm going to do is continue with the plans that I originally had to do the companion to this piece, the same size, Woman in Gold. I did buy special ABs for that painting. I do want to change out the topaz colored drills for more of a glitter. It's not an AB, it's actually a glitter drill, gold glitter. And so I'm going to stick with that. I can, also, I could do 2 paintings for Summer with the Masters. Doesn't have to be one. I believe so. I shouldn't say that out loud, but I believe so. I think you can get done one and then do another. The rules have changed for this Summer with the Masters this year, and it's all positive. It's all good. You don't even have to have a new canvas. You can have a canvas you've already started. So I could, if I didn't want to complete this, I can go in with this and complete it during June 1st to July 31st. And again, new rules, you don't even have to complete your diamond painting. But anyway, I am going off on a whole other branch as I usually do. I believe the color that I'm putting in is like an orange, and it's a lot. By the end of this video, I'm going to give you guys a little update as to where I am. I believe all I have left is a few more colors on the couple, and then the 2 tiles that are down in the lower left-hand corner. You can't see them right now, but of the garden. And I'm going to take those 2 tiles and I'm going to do them together. I would say I have anywhere between 6 to 8 hours of diamond painting. I diamond painted for about 6 hours today. And I also was able to complete a short of what I was done at that time, which was a nice chunk of canvas. But there's even more done now. So I hope you all got a chance to see that short that I did earlier, especially my 80 girls out there, because there's some great music on that clip. And it was just so perfect. It's Cool in the Gang, Misled, and I feel like I've been misled on so many different paths with this painting that I thought I knew so much about this painting, but then I really did a deep dive into it, and a deep dive into Klimt and his artistic life and his training and his personal life. And then I thought it went into another direction, and maybe it was Gustav and Emily, and then it went into another path, but I don't even think that we talked about. I do believe that the model in this painting was a model. Models used to go over to Klimt's apartment and pose for him. And I believe that this is the model that they called Red Hilda. And she is also the lady with a hat and feather boa. And she is also the model for Goldfish. Very beautiful painting. And so then I thought, well, Gustav did have affairs with a lot of these women. He never married. He had something like 14 children. And, but it wasn't feeling right. And so I went into a really deep dive into this painting. And I think that this is Klimt's vision of Orpheus and Eurydice. That's what I think it is. And so the music was just so, like, if you were like me thinking, oh, this is a passionate couple, it was originally called The Lovers, and this is a very romantic, very sensual painting of 2 people in an embrace. You might, and there's something else that I learned about this painting during the week, and it was from a newspaper article that was just written in the late part of 2023, that this reporter was at the Belvedere Museum, where most of Klimt's paintings are, and she had said the longer that you stand in front of this painting and the more that you look at it, the more it kind of like shape shifts, and that it had, for her, or it was either her or the curator that she was speaking about, it was starting to take more of a darker meaning for her. And when I had heard something about that earlier with a video that I was watching earlier on Klimt, and I thought, no, there's nothing dark about this painting. And then I thought maybe there was. And then I thought, well, no, I think that this is just one of Klimt's mythological. He loved mythology. He loved symbolism. And I believe that this is the story. So I think somewhere midway in this painting, I am stocked with like 5 or 6 diamond pens in my hand. I think I stopped to load up, and I have like a 3-placer, a 6-placer, a 4-placer, my plastic placer, my heavy single placer. It got really intense. It really did. And I was sitting here with John before he was going out, and I looked at him. I was like, I need a drink. You need to make me a drink before you go out. And he's like, I gotta tell you, hon, that painting is really breathtaking. But how long have you been at this? I feel like every time I come home, you're at this desk and you're diamond painting. I'm like, I really am. I am. It's not a joke. It really is. I know that I did the Winter Fox, and that was like 110 drills, 110,000 drills. I don't know how many this is, but this is so loaded with confetti that even the color blocking is intense. And I think it's the patterning in the tunic. So I was misled again. I couldn't resist the joke. I was misled when I looked at this, and I thought, oh, there's a lot of color blocking here. It's just the border, it seems to be. No, it's not. So if you do venture into this painting, let it be something that I feel as though I did do this as with a lot of leisure. I really did have a lot of fun with this painting, and I really want to do more along this line where there's a story within the painting. And I think for a while that I'm going to take a break from actually buying pre-made diamond painting kits. And I know that Dreamer Designs is now, or maybe I'm just finding out about it, they do custom kits. And I am thinking about having them do a custom kit for me. I do like their drill quality. I do like their canvases. I think that Dreamer Design has been very slowly stepping up their game more and more. So I'm looking to give them a whirl with a custom painting. I'm going to see how it comes back. So far, all the reviews have been really good. They will do either a photograph or a painting that doesn't have any copyright issues. So I am so, there's so many works of art that I love that are copyright free, that I would love to crop. If I couldn't do the whole image, crop a certain aspect out of the painting that I love and do a diamond painting with a masterclass. I think I've been on this path. I think I got started with the first master painting that I did, which was Van Gogh's Irises. It was the first real diamond painting that I had that was not something that I had just stepped into diamond painting, and I had gotten diamond paintings from Temu, and now I was venturing in, I was in Michael's and I saw a Diamond Dots Van Gogh Iris painting. It was $75. It was marked down to 20. I had a $5 coupon and I was like, well, I guess I'm doing Summer with the Masters. And I really took a deep dive into Van Gogh. I kind of get lost in the artist. And it was really easy though, because being in a field of irises, of these deep purple and lilacs. I mean, it was just an explosion. That canvas is beautiful. It was deep purples and oranges. And believe it or not, that was my brother's, when he got married, we wore crushed purple gowns we had. It was like a jacket with a longer gown. And my sister-in-law had, what are they? Birds of paradise. We had these birds of paradise in our bouquets. So it also reminded me of that, of like the opulence of the wedding. But it's a beautiful diamond painting. And I was so eager to begin a diamond painting that I was learning so much about diamond painting. And that was from Diamond Dots, that, I started in the lower left-hand corner and worked my way across, and then went up to the second row. And I think it was like 4 rows with maybe 8 across, 10 by 10 squares. And the very last 10 by 10 square had a white iris. And I didn't even notice it until I took this dive into Van Gogh and his life and his training and paintings. He must have been cranking out a painting one day. And I looked up the irises, and there was like a psychological discussion, which is my wheelhouse. And they were talking about the white iris. I'm like, what are they talking about? What do they mean, this white iris? And I went over to the canvas and I was like, oh, there's one white iris and it's in the last tile. And I was somewhere down below on the bottom. I had like 2 other rows to do before what was the last tile? So, and it was all white, and it was all white ABs, and I was already so morally ambitious, but I had such anxiety trying to work myself into getting to the finish line. And I learned so much from that painting, and about my own painting style, and about my own thoughts, and about slowing down, and about, using this tool for what it is. Yes, it's relaxing and enjoyable, and it is a craft and an art, but it is a meditative process, and it's a way to slow down. You can dive so deep into diamond painting for as many questions as you have, for as many thoughts that come up. You can journal, you can work through problems, you can lower your blood pressure, you can be calm and relaxed, you can listen to me like a podcast, you could, work along with me, you can comment, there's just so many things that you can do within the privacy of your own diamond painting, or being part of this community. I've been calling you guys my little family for a long, long time. It doesn't get past me that, I've made some real connections here with people, and I am so overwhelmed when someone reaches out to me and they feel a connection, and it has to, it's not escaping me at this moment that the reading that I have put aside for today is called Why We Need Each Other, and the interconnectedness and the oneness that can happen within a community, as long as you are willing to be vulnerable, and willing to take that first step and make a comment. Or I have seen conversations on my channel within other diamond painters just talking to each other. Maybe you don't reach out to me, maybe someone says something, and someone else finds the courage to validate that person with their own experience. So it's just like, I can't even begin to tell you how full my heart feels when I see people connecting in that way, in this arena of this this kind of void that we're in at times. We're all just spinning on a little blue marble through space, but you find a way to connect with someone, and it can make you feel that you're not alone. Either in your thoughts or your experiences, you might feel like, why does this always happen to me? Why me? No one goes through this other than me. And then you find that validation. And when you find it here, it just makes my heart so full. Anyway, where was I? I was on Van Gogh and Timu, and I'm actually just taking a peek at what I'm doing. Is this where I think I'm armed now with just two diamond painting pens, but pretty soon it'll be more than that. And so, yes, I did fall in love with Van Gogh and his life and how he created. And it's still a very big part of what goes on here at Lisa Maria Designs. My tagline came out of my mouth one day: to create the world that you want to live in. And I think that that's what all the great artists are doing. They are creating the world as they see it, and they are putting it in the canvas as a way of being a part of it, being a part of that canvas. Honestly, I think the reason why I painted so much today was because this morning after I got up and I got out of the shower and I'm putting on my makeup, and it's like 9 a.m. in the morning and I hear sirens outside, and I'm like, it's a Saturday morning. It's 9 a.m. It's a beautiful day. It's sunny. There's not a cloud in the sky. What could be going on at 9 o'clock in the morning that there are just sirens like right outside my window? And I'm thinking, well, it's Philadelphia, and we never stop pouring the tea here in this city of brotherly love. But by the time I got dressed and got down the steps, and with this boot on my foot that I'm wearing, the commotion had stopped, and I just figured, whatever it was, it's over, it's past. Let me just get my coffee and get on with my day. And as I was sitting at my desk, and I was like really in a deep kind of state where painting and thinking, and thinking about, oh yeah, I'm going to go live tonight. John's going to be out. It's going to be quiet, and just then I started to hear police cars again from every direction, and I went near my window, and I see my traffic backing up on my street, and I open the door, and there's all police cars coming from every direction. At the end of my street is a major street. It's like 4 lanes. And at the corner, there's a driveway that you can drive into a Dunkin' Donuts. And that's where all the cops were. And I just thought, oh my gosh, like, I hope everyone is all right in that store. They had been held up like a few years ago. And I hope like the guys at the corner store, if it's their store, that it's okay. And then there was an ambulance, and they were just like tearing to get into the driveway to help. And I shut the door and I called John, and I'm like, do you hear anything? Because he's really tied into what's going on around the city. And he's like, no, I didn't hear anything. I'm like, I can't find anything either. He's like, well, don't go outside. I'm not going to go down. Not going to go outside with this big boot on my leg. But, I was grateful. I was like, whatever it is, I hope everybody's okay. But I'm just going to shut the world out. And I'm going to get back to what I'm doing. I'm going to light a candle. I'm going to say a prayer for everybody. Everybody is safe. And I'm going to light some incense and put on some music and, just create this world that I want to live in with these 2 lovers here, and, create my thoughts and redirect them into something more positive, and more ideas for my channel that I can write down and just like I'm so grateful for this craft because it can help me refocus and just, you know, calm down and tap into something positive. So today is not only Mother's Day, it is Self-Care Sunday. As I do these voiceovers, I'm actually looking at what I'm doing, and nope, that's not it yet. We have a bunch of ABs coming up. And I had already celebrated Mother's Day with my family on Friday evening. I know all the new mommies out there, they like to get dressed up and dress the kitties up and the babies up and go out, and that's a beautiful thing. But I've done that. And I always found Mother's Day to be more stressful than all the days that I had with my son going through his terrible twos. Because, you just have a bunch of mommies and a bunch of kids and a bunch of babies, and mom just wants to have the day off. I just found the day to be incredibly stressful. Like, you kind of want the attention because it's like, yeah, it's Mother's Day and I'm a mommy and I have a mommy. And, it just seemed like it was always just so much. And so I said to my boys, my husband and my son, how about we just go out Friday night, and we just beat the crowd and the craziness. And then my mom is free, her Sundays are pretty packed, to do what it is that she wants to do. Maybe she wants to go to brunch with her guy. And, my son is free to do, it's one of his days off. He works very hard all week. And my husband, this was supposed to be his 3-day weekend, but he's only getting Sunday off. And, everybody kind of gets to have a relaxing weekend and not to have to worry about, we have to do this, we have to do that. It's the day. That's my husband. Well, Mother's Day, you got to celebrate. Oh, no, I don't. I've been celebrating Mother's Day since July 4th, 1986. This is just a day on the calendar. It's a nice day, but this is what I want to do. And so we went out to dinner Friday night, and it was really nice. And when I got up Saturday morning, being this morning, you're hearing this on Sunday, but yesterday morning, and I sat down with my diamond painting. Some of the things I was thinking about was, Mother's Day, and I really searched my soul for having a self-care Sunday talk where we check in, where we are in our lives. And I think I kind of just went into that talk anyway earlier with the community that is building here. And I don't do too much thinking about self-care Sunday, like, oh, I need to plan a talk, because I'm always speaking from where I am, teach to where you are, and, talk about where you are now. And being that I am a journaler and I read all week long, and I journal, and I come to these aha moments in my writing. It's usually like something that I'll go back into my journal and be like, oh, I've already circled this or that, and this is what I want to talk about. But I had remembered that in Mark's Book of Awakening, there was a haiku, a poem, that had to do with a mother, a child, and a cherry blossom tree. And I thought that would be a good reading, but I didn't know where it was in the book. And I couldn't find it anywhere online. So I had to go through all the pages of my book, which is falling apart. And like I said, I don't know if I already told you guys this, but it's falling apart. My Book of Awakening is falling apart. And I was, now washi taping the inside of it. And it's from January 13th. Yes, January 13th. And it's called Why We Need Each Other. So I'm going to get my book and I'm going to read that for you. It's so interesting that I decided to put a little bit of background music on. I have on YouTube, it's called The Magical Forest Music and Beautiful Flower Forest Space for Rest and Relaxation. And there is like a wind, I think they got like a wind flute. It's very, very beautiful and it's just so perfect. The channel is called Magical Forest Music, and it does come under my copyright free music, and I have it on very low, and I'll be very interested to when I do this playback if it will even like come through, because my I have to say my phone has a microphone on it that's a beast. It picks up everything. So back to Book of Awakening, January 13th, Why We Need Each Other. And the haiku is from Kikakou. He is a poet. And his haiku is: a blind child guided by his mother admires the cherry blossoms. Who knows what a blind child sees of blossoms or songbirds? Who knows what any of us sees from the privacy of our own blindness? And make no mistake, each of us is blind in a particular way, just as each of us is sighted uniquely. Consider how each of us is blinded by what we fear. If we fear heights, we are blind to the humility vast perspectives bring. If we fear spiders, we are blind to the splendor and the danger of webs. If we fear small spaces, we are blind to the secrets of sudden solitude. If we fear passion, we are blind to the comfort of oneness. If we fear change, we are blind to the abundance of life. If we fear death, we are blind to the mystery of the unknown. And since to fear something is thoroughly human, to be blind is unavoidable. It is what each of us must struggle to overcome. With this in mind, Kikakou's little poem serves as an internal parable. For in the course of our lives, we all stumble and struggle repeatedly in and out of relationship and in and out of the grace of the hidden wholeness of life. It is in part why we need each other, for often our relationships help us experience the oneness of things. We do this in the course of our lives by taking turns being the blind child, the loving guide, and the unsuspecting blossom, never knowing which we are called to be until we've learned what we are to learn. I have been in so many situations in my life where I go into something thinking that I'm the teacher and I'm the student, and I've also been the student that has become the teacher. And I love this poem. And when Mark Nepos writes, he does a lot with a poem. If he comes across a poem that he likes, he will meditate on it, and he will pull it apart, and he will decide like what he's learned from it and how he can boil it down so that it's a simple recipe for us to ingest. And I don't know if I said this earlier, because I go from writing to, writing about what it is that I want to make sure the points that I want to hit. And I don't know if I said this earlier, but what I love about Mark Nepos and what he does to me with everything that I read of his, he boils it down so well that you get all the emotion, and it's just a simple recipe, and it just unfolds like a beautiful song. And in the time that it takes to read a daily passage from him, it's probably the length of a song, one of your favorite songs. The way that he just has a way of, boiling it down. And this haiku is so beautiful. And he came up with such a beautiful meditation for this poem. And what I'm going to do, because you're not here, is repeat this poem for you 3 times. And the first time I repeat it, I want you to think of yourself as I'm repeating the haiku, that you are the blind child. A blind child, guided by his mother, admires the cherry blossoms. So breathe in and become that blind child admiring the blossoms he or she can't see. And I have notes for when I've come to this date. This book of mine is probably over 10 years old, and I have notes in different color pen ink for whatever year it was that I was reading this. And it's really interesting that I can't relate to what it is that I've written in the past. Being the blind child in my emotions, I'm the blind child, and I can just see myself holding my mother's hand, but I don't see myself. I'm actually seeing a little boy holding his mother's hand, and I'm that little boy walking through this beautiful path of cherry blossoms that are underneath my feet, and I'm being guided by my mother. And if that's too difficult for you to imagine, a loving other, someone loving in your life, guiding you to admire the cherry blossoms. How do you, when you're blind at something, how do you admire something that you can't see? The beauty of their fragrance, the beauty of how they feel in your hands or under your feet. And then I'm going to repeat the haiku again. And the second time, I want you to just relax and breathe into it and become the loving other. A blind child, guided by his mother, admires the cherry blossoms. And so you are the loving mother or the loving other, guiding his or her blind child to a beauty they can share, but you can never experience in the same way. How do you expand beyond what you can see to be able to experience beauty or have someone else experience the beauty? Sometimes we have a friend that, they can't see the beauty around them. They can only see the negativity of a situation. And then a lot of times we step in and we try and clear the path for them, we take away their blindness to the situation. It's very interesting that when I'm doing this along with you and I can feel the emotion that is welling in my stomach and in my heart, of being the blind child, of being the loving other. And maybe because I'm injured right now, and I'm kind of hobbling around my house, and I had broken my right ankle, and I was, some of you know I was previously married, and I have a different loving other. Not comparing my husbands to each other, but my husband John is, I can't tell you how many times he not only helped me up, but he would put his arms, he would take his arms and take my arms and put them around his neck, and he would be like, just lean on me. Just lean on me. I'm going to get you there. I'm going to help you. And that's a lesson for me, because I am so fiercely independent and need to do everything on my own that it's hard for me to allow someone else to say, lean on me. Let me show you an easier way. I almost fell again, working the crutches, and he was like, here's how you do it. Let me show you how to do it. Let me give you my experience, and maybe you could see things differently. I don't know if that's the best kind of example, but I'm really I'm reading over my notes from the past, and it's so interesting when you could go back and read what you wrote and where you were. Maybe that's why I thought about my right ankle when I broke it. It was such a struggle for me. I had no one around me to help me. No one. I mean, I literally most of the time was on my hands and knees, just crawling around, and alone, and crying, most of the time. And I was forcing myself to stand on this broken ankle. It was worse than the left one, and because I just wanted to heal and be independent again. And I learned a lot from that too. I learned that I was holding on to a lot of pain and a lot of hurt. And I think when you have something in your life, when you're living your life, and then something happens, a diagnosis or an injury, the holding on stops. Everything falls. It's like when you're unpacking the car with groceries. It's like we can't make another trip back to the car, right? We're going to carry everything in that one trip, and then the bag breaks, or you're carrying too many things from the kitchen to the table, from the stove to the table, and something falls or something breaks. And I think that's what happens when our foundation kind of gets shaken. If something breaks, and then everything that you're holding on to just tumbles like a house of cards. And so I learned to, in that time, that I can make more than one trip to the car, and I don't have to do everything all at one time. And it's self-care. It is being gentle and kind to yourself. Why are you carrying so much, whether it figuratively or literally? Why are you carrying so much? Why are you carrying all these bags and making it so difficult on your body and not being kind to yourself? Because if you saw anybody else doing that, you would run right up to them and be like, here, let me help you. But we've got to learn how to be that friend to ourselves. And so one more time with the haiku, and the third time as you breathe in and out. Breathe without thinking and become the cherry blossom itself that stops both those who can see and those who cannot. A blind child, guided by his mother, admires the cherry blossoms. Breathe without thinking and become the cherry blossom itself that stops both those who can see and those who cannot. And I think that the key word here, and I actually underlined it, was stops. As long as I am still, I can't see anything. I can't see any beauty. Beauty will go unrecognized until I stop and pause and breathe and take those breaks, take that time. It doesn't have to be a vacation. It doesn't have to be, oh, I'm going to go make myself a drink like I did earlier. But just like I did actually, I found myself wanting to get the painting, like a part of this painting done. And I was like, oh, this is like a lot of color blocking. But it was like all the ABs you could see me putting in, and then it was all the yellow, and then it was like all the orange. And then I stepped back and I was like, oh, I'm almost done. And I looked around and I was like, I'm nowhere near done. There's still so much more. And I found myself wanting to grab the next container of drills and just keep diamond painting. And I was like, no, I need to stop now. I need to be kind to myself. I need a break. I made a mistake thinking that, I was blind. I was blind to what was going on. And now I can see, and I need to stop. I need to pause. I need to be the cherry blossom. Oh, and this is, again, like just what I love about Mark Nepo, and him as, my spiritual teacher, of course, is always going to be Jesus Christ, but him as a spiritual teacher is such a gift to, be just, walking around a bookstore and seeing this beautiful cover with a lotus on it, and never hearing the name Mark Nepo before. And really, I really hunger to want to, see him do something or see a talk. But most of his talks, not that they're not great, are like 10 years old. But to find this book was such a gift for me, and such an easy read. And I had loved taking it into my classes when I was teaching yoga and not teaching online, which I think I might be looking to do in the future. And if I do, that will probably be on my Facebook page that you'll find the information. I mean, I'll put it here too. Just don't know how about, I was such a hands-on teacher with my students. I would love if they would allow me to, if they gave me permission to adjust them in any way, or show them a modification that I have to get out of my head, that, I am not really taking advantage of my gift and my experience of being a loving, kind, caring yoga teacher, and teaching in this new way. I've had so many yoga studios in my area just closed down because once people were like, hey, I can make my yoga class because all I got to do is roll out of bed and roll out my mat and I'm there. And, it's been a lot, it's been a lot. So it's been a lot getting used to. I think more so than any time in our life, things are just coming at us so quickly. And it's another reason why we have to stop and we have to either hold, see, look, smell the cherry blossoms that are all around us. You're not just blooming once a year, but all around us. There's beauty to be had, to see, because it's so easy. It's so easy just to walk around blind and not think that there's any, and that's a whole other story, and not think that there's any beauty out there. And there is. It's just that we don't have too many people like us that want to seek and find. And, just like these symbols on our canvas, you guys that know me know I'm out there with with a magnifying glass now, looking for all my symbols before I put that little container away. But there's a lot of beauty out there, and there's a lot of beautiful people out there, and if it's that you can't get out into the world for whatever reason, connect here. Absolutely connect here. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how you like these master classes and maybe what you want to see in the future. I'm just having a blast. I really am. I feel that there have been times in my life that everything just comes together. I've never really known what I wanted to do in my life. I didn't have my finger on a career. Like, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. And I did have a mentor once, a teacher, and she said, Elisa, just go out there and do everything. Everything that excites you, everything that you want to learn about it, because one day it's all going to come full circle. You're going to find yourself in a position where you're going to be pulling from all those things. They're all going to come full circle. And that's the way I feel like when I am here. When I'm here, I feel like everything just comes full circle. So thank you, my friends, and my little YouTube family here. Here's our little painting. I think this is when... No, I'm still pointing things. I'm still pointing things out. I promise you, I do drop the pen. It's coming up. Oh, maybe that's it. No. She's still going. She's still going. But not for much longer. Maybe another minute. I do want to take some pictures to drop into this video. And I want to show you how exciting it is to have... I did continue to diamond paint even though I turned the camera off here. So that's probably why I'm thinking that I drop the pen sometime soon. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I did diamond paint a little bit more after I finished with this video. Oh, there she goes. There she goes. She's getting it. Yep. Thank you for being here, my friends. Have a wonderful, beautiful day. Create the world that you see yourself living in. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.